I'm Colin O'Keefe, and this is LXBN TV. Democrats and Republicans present two very different philosophies when it comes to immigration. To break them down in advance of this year's election, we bring in Angelo Paparelli, partner in Seyfarth Shaw's Los Angeles office and author of Nation of Immigrators. Angelo, you wrote that the GOP position is, quote, immigration under glass. What do you mean by that?
Well, if you recall the Republican convention, there were many speeches by the participants, most memorable being Marco Rubio and Mitt Romney's son, about how immigrants in their family histories had come and made great strides in America, that they had achieved and helped their descendants achieve the American dream. And by that I mean then that it's almost as if they're talking about immigration in a museum case, where you're looking through the glass to see an old, outdated, almost extinct form of immigration, given that all of those folks are likely no longer on the planet. They don't talk much, except in their platform, about what they would do to solve the immigration problem. And so that's why I suggest it's not a living, breathing kind of immigration. Mr. Romney has said that the Arizona Show Me Your Papers law, which at least as to the Show Me Your Papers part, the Supreme Court upheld, throwing everything else out, was a model for the nation. He has suggested that there should be self-deportation as the means of reducing the population of undocumented residents in the United States. He has certainly shown no willingness to embrace the DREAM Act. In fact, he has said that he would veto the DREAM Act if it came to his desk. Now, to be fair, he has said we're looking for a long-term solution and that we're not going to deport people in large numbers. But that doesn't really solve the problem. Those are generalizations that don't get into the nitty-gritty of the fine details of how do we do this. Republicans have been opposed to any form of legalization of the undocumented population. They tend, though, to want guest workers to come in, and they seem willing to throw out the diversity lottery, which tries to bring in a wide array of people from countries whose citizens don't often come here to immigrate because of obstacles, and throw that out. That's 55,000 visas a year, green cards a year, and replace it with a STEM worker provisions, science, technology, engineering, and math students who are educated at the university or higher level in the United States would get green cards. There's general consensus about STEM graduates deserving of green cards, but there's not a consensus about reducing the existing number of diversity lottery green card entrants. And so they're also talking in their platform about continuing to increase the border security when, in fact, they want to finish the border fence, when, in fact, that has not proven to be necessary. There has been a dramatic reduction in the number of illegal entrants apprehended in the United States, and frankly, there's been a surge in the number of deportations to historic levels, about 400,000 per year under the Obama administration.
I see. So, talking about the Obama administration, how do the Democrats differ from what the GOP is putting forth?
Well, the Democrats have talked repeatedly about a desire for comprehensive immigration reform. They say that they want to have a number of elements to reform. One is border security. Another is interior enforcement against employers who knowingly hire persons who lack the right to work in this country. But they also want to have a form of legalization, a pathway to citizenship, ultimately after a long time waiting, and payment of taxes and payment of penalties and fines for those who are here illegally. That's not just the DREAM Act population of persons who came in under the age of 16, brought here without their consent, essentially at the will of their parents or a guardian or relative. Of course, the Democrats, most Democrats want the DREAM Act passed. It almost was passed in December 2010. And there really is a need, though, to tackle the immigration law in terms of its complexity. It's not very user-friendly. It has provisions that are perhaps worthy when they were enacted in the early 50s, but today they don't really foster economic prosperity. They don't really allow for quick family reunification. Some people are forced to wait literally decades to qualify to get a green card, and a job and a family shouldn't be made to wait that long. Employers have urgent needs, families have emotional needs and financial needs, and they should be able to be brought together much more quickly under a logical, streamlined, comprehensive immigration reform.
Mhm. Certainly, certainly. Well, once again, that was Angelo Paparelli of Seyfarth Shaw and his blog, Nation of Immigrators. For more of his insight, be sure to visit nationofimmigrators.com. And for more of LXBN's political commentary in advance of this year's election, be sure to check out our Election 2012 section on lxbn.com. Just search Election 2012 and click on that tag to see all of our curated insight. Thanks, Angelo.
Thank you, Colin.